Court documents provide more detail into felony charges lodged against a town of Canton man after an alleged domestic dispute. 37-year-old Wesley Daniels faces charges of first-degree unlawful imprisonment, second-degree strangulation, and second-degree menacing. The St. Lawrence County Sheriff's Office says Daniels was involved in a domestic incident on Jingleville Road Saturday. Court documents say Daniels allegedly held down a victim, strangled that person, and pressed a gun up against that person's forehead. Daniels sent to county jail. Bail is set at $25,000.